government can't pay for broken bridge. Repair the man, get it while it's hot.
Even in a bull market, things can become a three-ring circus without a band leader. But even if the curve turns to shambles, we can make a buck from a dead cat bounce. Yes. Sam, why don't we colonize at the colony over some Manhattans next week for a slippery lunch? Yeah, keep our spirits up. All right, night, Eddie. Paperboy. Maggie, take this. Keep up Petunia, let's walk.
Walk? It must be 2 blocks.
You got that contract for the Rockefeller deal? Won't get signed on its own.
You're not Rockefeller.
I'm not Rockefeller. What do I got, a comedian for an assistant? Shake a leg, secretary.
2 New York City blocks.
Look, you're not eating right, Maggie, okay? We gotta fly to make it.
Can we take a taxi? My bunions are killing me.
Now it's the bunions. Now, oh, Maggie, geez, you gotta keep a tight hold of that dossier, okay? It's got all who I am in there. Now come this way. Taxi!
This curb seems a little high, Mr. Thornhill. I'm not certain I can manage. Oh, here comes one.
Hey, pal, this lady's got, something severe on the double.
I've got the contract for Rockefeller and medicine for your mother. And he knows you're lying, by the way. The driver, he knows I'm not going
Look,
to have a...
but we're making an important delivery, or whatever you call it. Maggie, in the world of advertising, there's no such thing as a lie. Only expedient exaggeration. Look, I'm going to the plaza to celebrate, and you go get those lawyers.
Sure thing, Mr. Vanderbilt, you tycoon.
Thornhill is good enough. Step on it, Mac, take this lady where she belongs, and don't forget to see my mother with that medicine.
I won't. Good night, Mr. Thornhill.
Good night. Oh, wait! Don't call my mother! It's bridge night! Hey, buddy. You got a light?
Yes, you do.
Thanks. While we're here, have you seen a man named Herman Weltner? He was with 2 other gentlemen.
Roger,
Ah, Herman. Sorry I'm so late.
this is Larry Wade and Frank Nelson.
Wait. Frank?
I believe we have a bit of a head start on you, sir.
I'm sure it won't last long.
I was just telling them how you may be a slow starter, but there's no one fast to you down the home stretch. What's wrong, Roger? You're looking a little fidgety.
It's something silly. Look, I told my PA to look into some medicine for my mother, but I realized she won't be home tonight. It's bridge night, you know?
Paging Mr. Kaplan.
You know, perhaps if I call her, I can call a halt to a silly chase. Kind of end this whole fiasco.
Paging Mr. Kaplan.
Oh, you here. Come here. Can I just use that phone over there when you're done?
Sure, I'll set it up at the bar for you, sir.
Thanks. Boys, it'll be a quick call. Just scare up a double martini, will you?
Sure thing.
Where's he going?
He's calling his mother. It's bridge night.
He's jumping off a bridge?
It's all set up for you, sir.
Thanks.
You will walk between us and say nothing.
Let's go.
Go where? Who are you?
Mere errand boys with concealed carries. His is pointed at your heart. I have a vial if we need to immobilize you.
Is this some kind of a joke or something?
Yes, it's a joke. We laughed about it in the car.
This is ridiculous. Look, don't tell me where we're going. Let it be a surprise. I've got a lot of people and a dry martini at the bar, and these people will think I'm awfully rude if I don't go back and join them. Maybe we can go to a convenience store and I can call them from there. And, maybe while we're there, I can buy you guys some ice cream too. No, really, I should let them know that I'm being kidnapped. Lester Townsend?
Good evening.
Not a moment too soon.
Well, so?
Thank you. That explains everything.
Not quite what I expected. Not as tall. A little more polished than the rest, though.
Well, I'm so glad you are pleased, Mr. Townsend.
But I'm afraid just as obvious.
Well, forgive me for being obvious, but what the devil is all this about? Why was I brought here?
Games, must we?
Not that I mind a slight case of abduction now and then, but I had tickets to the theater, and it was a show I was looking forward to, and I get kind of unreasonable about things like this.
Well, with such expert play acting, you make this very room a theater. Now, Leonard, have you met our distinguished guest?
Well-tailored one, isn't he?
Yes, my secretary is a great admirer of your methods, Kaplan. Elusiveness, however misguided.
Wait a minute. Did you just call me Kaplan?
Oh, I know, you're a man of many names, but I'm perfectly willing to accept your most recent choice.
Most recent choice. My name is Thornhill, Roger Thornhill. It's never been anything else.
Of course.
Of course.
Well, obviously your friends bundled up the wrong package when they took me out here in the car.
Kaplan, quite don't you take a seat?
I told you, I'm not Kaplan. I'm Roger Thornhill of the Wadley and Rap Agency, and unless you two men are interested in advertising something, this meeting is going to be a giant bust for all things concerned.
Good. Now, why don't we get down to business?
I'm all for that.
Quite simply, I'd like to know exactly what you know about our little operation here, and of course how you came by this information. Now, naturally, I don't expect to get this for nothing.
Yeah, of course not.
Don't misunderstand me, Kaplan. I don't really expect you to willingly agree to my proposal. I just thought the least I could afford you was the opportunity of surviving the evening.
Surviving the evening?
Now, why don't you surprise us all and say yes?
Look, I already told
We
you.
know where you're headed for, Mr. Kaplan.
I'm headed for the Winter Garden Theater in New York, and I better get going. Mr. Townsend, you're making a serious mistake.
This is not going to lead to a particularly happy conclusion, Kaplan.
I told you, I'm not Kaplan.
Do you wish you'd reconsider?
We also know about your contact in Pittsburgh since Jason committed suicide.
What contact in Pittsburgh? Suicide?
On June 16th, you checked into the Sherwin Hotel as Mr. George Kaplan. A week later, you checked into the Ben Franklin in Philadelphia as George Kaplan. August 11th, into the Ritz in Boston as George Kaplan. August 29th, into the Whittier in Detroit as George Kaplan.
What else?
Now you are at room 613 of the Plaza. Only nobody's seen you there before today. And in 2 days, you're due at the Parker House in Chicago.
Oh, really?
And then is Mr. G. Kaplan in Rapid City, South Dakota.
Not me.
So you see, Kaplan, we've traced your entire journey thus far. We know where you're headed, when you'll be there. Really, there's no need to persist with any of this silly fiction.
Well, I don't suppose it would do you any good showing you a wallet full of identification cards, a driver's license, things like that?
They do provide you with such good ones.
Kaplan, it's getting rather late, so I'd like a simple yes or no answer. Do you intend to cooperate
All right,
with us?
fine. A simple no for the simple reason that I simply don't know what you're talking about.
Very well. Pour our guest a drink, Leonard. Pleasant travels, sir.
So, Mr. Kaplan, what'll it be? We have whiskey, rye, bourbon, tequila, milk.
Nothing. I'll just take a quick ride back to town.
Of course, Mr. Kaplan, that has been arranged, but first, a libation. Bourbon?
Yeah, maybe just a quick one, then on our way. You'll join me, won't you?
Of course. Sorry for the excess. You'll take it, won't you?
Yes.
Well, cheers.
Hey.
Drink! Drink!
Enough? Get him to the car.
Get up. Get up!
Oh, don't mind me, fellas. I'll take the bus instead. You're coming on the bus too? Thanks for the lift, fellas.
Doc, this man needs to be examined for driving while intoxicated.
Look, they tried to kill me, but he won't listen. I don't want to be here.
Hey, sir, we just need to take a seat so we can find out what happened.
No, I don't want to sit down. I want a policeman. Look, we'll throw the book at him. Kidnapping, assault with a gun, bourbon, sports car, we'll get him.
Whoa there, all right. If you could just sit down, and the doc will ask some questions, and then we'll be on our way.
What is your name?
Roger Thornhill. Don't think we've met.
Address?
84 Sutton Place. Doc, if you listen to me.
Were you operating a motor vehicle tonight?
Admirably.
Where were you going?
No place. I was just trying to get away from some chaps who were trying to kill me.
Where did you start from?
The big house. Doc, if you listen to me.
Stand up, Mr. Thornhill.
Sure.
Can you pick up these coins?
What coins?
Could you please walk this line?
All right. Well, at first I thought they were gonna hold me for ransom. The name was Kaplan, no Townsend. And then another guy, he held me down and I said no.
Ever have diabetes?
Never touch the stuff.
So you're not taking insulin?
Never touch the stuff.
Have you used a mouthwash recently?
Never touch the stuff.
Stick out your tongue and say ah.
Well, you may want to move back.
Mr. Thornhill, have you been drinking?
Doctor, Yes?
What were you drinking?
Bourbon. Doc, if you listen to me, a guy...
How much would you say you had?
About this much.
Mr. Thornhill, it is my professional opinion that you are intoxicated.
So I was here the car was a write-off. You better call your lawyer unless you want to sleep in a cell tonight. Can you make a call? All right. Sleep well, Roger.
Okay, Roger. I'm just going over what I'm going to tell the judge at your hearing. So it is at this point that Mr. Thornhill succeeded in escaping from his would-be captors. And when they gave chase, after forcing bourbon on him, he had to drive as best he could in a car he found under the circumstances. So, here we are.
Where are they?
Roger, you should lie back to
No,
your
look, we're going back to that Townsend house. And I'm taking the police with me.
You sure about this? It seems a little far-fetched just because you had a little too much to drink. And then irresponsibly wrecked a car.
I know, officer. Seems a little crazy.
Hello? How may I help you?
Is Mr. Townsend home?
I'm sorry, sir. He's not in at the moment.
All right, fine. What about Mrs. Townsend?
Who shall I say is calling?
Roger Thornhill in the Glen Cove Police Department and my attorney.
Very well, sir. Please come.
Well, at least you have one redeeming quality. You have some attractive friends.
Look, I don't know any of these people. They're all kidnappers and thugs.
Roger! Oh dear, we were so worried about you. Did you get home all right? Of course you did. Let me look at you. Oh, a little pink in the eyes, fuzzy around the cheeks, but then aren't we all? It was such a dull party last night, and Lester was furious with himself that he didn't see you home personally. You must be one of Roger's handsome pals, and you must be a policeman. You look like a policeman.
I am Mr. Thornhill's attorney.
Look, I would like everyone to know that I have never seen this woman before in my life.
You devil, Raj. What a gag.
Ma'am, I actually am a policeman, Officer Klinger.
How do you do?
Well, here's the, story. Mr. Thornhill was picked up last night under the heavy influence of alcohol. Incidentally, in a stolen car
Stolen car?
belonging to Miss Babson of Twining Road.
You said you were going to call a cab. You didn't borrow Laura's new Mercedes?
No, I didn't borrow Laura's new Mercedes.
All right, ma'am, could you please recollect what happened?
Well, he was a little tipsy when he arrived here by cab for dinner.
Look, she's lying.
And I'm afraid he grew even worse as the evening wore on until he told us he had to go home to sleep it off. Oh, I knew I should have served dinner earlier. Otherwise, I assure you, this harmless escapade with Mrs. Batson's car would have never happened.
What a performance.
Poor dear.
Ma'am, does the name Kaplan, George Kaplan, mean anything to you?
George Kaplan? No.
That's what I thought.
What about her husband? He is the one that you should be questioning.
Is there any place he can be reached?
Why, yes, the United Nations.
The United Nations.
He's addressing the General Assembly this afternoon.
He's addressing the General Assembly this afternoon. So what?
Sorry we had to bother you.
Oh, it was no bother at all.
So that's it. You are not going to investigate any further.
No, Mr. Thornhill. I believe here my job is done. Good day, ma'am.
Goodbye, all. And Roger, I hope you recover. We want to invite you to our next party. Give us a call.
Yeah, give you a call. Give you a call. Hello, Ma. It's your son, Roger. No, Roger. No, my head is fine. No ill effects, except for a massive fine and a crashed Mercedes. Oh, and thanks awfully, by the way, for the bail. Cold slab to sleep on, not my cup of tea. Yeah, Larrabee says I should drop it all, but I don't think he believes me. That's why I think this Kaplan guy is the key, Mother, and I've got a plan. I'm going back to the plaza, according to what Townsend said at the big house last night. Room 613, I believe. And yeah, once I'm there, I'll kind of check it out for myself. What, Mother? Yes. I'll be home for dinner. Hey, buddy, can you do me a favor? I need to page Lester Townsend.
Do you have an appointment?
No, but I'm sure he'll want to see me.
All right, he might have a moment. Lester Townsend, paging Lester Townsend. Please come down to the main floor security desk for an urgent meeting. Who should I say he's calling for?
Tell him it's George Kaplan. Tell him it's George Kaplan.
Here's Mr. Townsend. Here he comes down.
How do you do, Mr. Kaplan?
This isn't Mr. Townsend.
Yes, it is.
No, there must be some kind of mistake. Lester Townsend.
That's me. How can I help you?
You are the Lester Townsend who lives in Glen Cove.
That's right. Are we neighbors?
A large red brick house, a curving tree-lined driveway.
That's the one.
Were you at home last night?
In Glen Cove?
Yes.
No, I've been staying at my apartment in town for the past month. Always do when we're in session.
All right, what about Mrs. Townsend?
My wife has been dead for many years. Now, Mr. Kaplan, what is this all about?
Who are those people living in your house?
What people? The house is completely closed up, just a gardener and his wife living on the grounds. Now, suppose you tell me who you are and what you want.
Look, have you seen this man? Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy, are you all right?
I saw him! He
No,
did it!
it wasn't me, I swear. There was a guy there. It's not what it looks like. Oh, God, this is terrible. There was a guy right there, I swear. It wasn't me. Oh.
Brother, did you see this?
Yeah, looks like someone's standing in a puddle of poop without the right kind of shoes.
I heard that one before. Hey, did you ever hear the one about the two camels in the desert? The one that has
Stop. Check that bird out. Suspicious.
No.
Does anyone know anything about this Thornhill?
Apparently the poor sucker was mistaken for George Kaplan.
How can you be mistaken for George Kaplan when George Kaplan doesn't exist?
Listen, don't ask me how the flies find what stuck under your shoe, but obviously it happened. Van Dam must have grabbed him and put him away using Lester Townsend's house.
The knife. What about that knife? Unsuspecting Lester finds stray cutlery in his back?
It's so horribly sad. Why do I feel like laughing?
You're sick, maybe.
No.
What are we gonna do?
Do?
About Thornhill?
I say we do nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah, the way I see it, we got lucky. Like the two camels in the desert, the one with fleas who met the other one without fleas, they all jumped onto each other and...
What?
Anyway, George Kaplan, who never existed to create a decoy from a #1 deep state, has fortunately become a live diversion.
But how long will they stay alive?
Well, that's his problem.
You can't just watch them get hunted down. So who catches them first, Van Dam or the police?
Steady. Steady, Mother Teresa. Shh. Scaring the birds. Our primary objective is to protect #1 embedded.
Seems a little callous if you ask me.
Too much work to intervene on this Kaplan patsy. We've had two under Van Dam before, and we've got one right under his nose now. Best let him chase this decoy.
You can't just, poor schmuck. They think he's got top secret information.
Well, like the clever camel with top secret documents. Best let him digest it. Don't go straight into cuddling.
Stop.
Rather.
I got it. Goodbye, Mr. Thornhill, wherever you are.
Gotta find a way out of this city.
Yeah? Speak up. I can't hear you.
Give me a sleeper or whatever you got on the 20th century.
That train leaves in 2 minutes, pal.
Yeah, I know. Come on.
I'm afraid we're all sold out.
Sold out.
Might as well go coach.
No, I can't. When's the next train?
Nothing until 10.
Can you just check if there's anything, please?
All right. Your eyes are looking a little funny, buddy. You all right?
Yeah, they're sensitive to questions. Will you just check, please?
Okay.
He's in aisle 15. Please hurry.
All right, mister. Think I found something.
Sorry, my fault. Mind if I just look out your window?
Why not?
7 parking tickets. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Oh?
He's on this train.
Seems a little excessive.
Yeah, I'll say. What? I look vaguely familiar to you.
Yes.
You think you've seen me somewhere before?
Yes.
Funny how I have that effect on people wherever I go. It's something about my face.
Oh. It's a nice face.
Really?
Wouldn't say so if I didn't think so.
Oh, you're that type.
What type?
Honest.
Not really, no.
Good. Honest women frighten me.
Why?
Because I feel at a disadvantage from them.
Oh, because you're not honest with them, right?
Exactly.
Like that business about the 7 parking tickets?
Look, what I mean is when I find someone attractive, I have to be dishonest, pretend I'm not interested.
Oh, right. Yes, she might find that disagreeable. But then again, she might not.
Well, then again, I think about how lucky it is that I've found a seat right here.
No, luck had nothing to do with it.
Fate?
Don't you think it's time we were introduced?
Yeah, I'm Jack Phillips, Western sales manager for King B Electronics.
Right. And I'm Eve Kendall, industrial engineer, single. And you're Roger Thornhill of Madison Avenue, and you're wanted for murder on every front page in America. Don't be so modest.
Oops.
Don't worry, I won't tell anyone.
Why's that?
I told you, it's a nice face.
Really? How nice do you think it
This
is?
is a train, Mr. Thornhill, not a fishing boat.
So it is, and by the way, it seems to be slowing down.
We're in a barley field. This is the scheduled stop. They'll be looking for you. Time.
Open this door.
You think you could tell the police to hurry up?
Patience is a virtue.
So is breathing.
Just lie still.
You got any olive oil?
Olive oil? Why?
Look, I want to be packed in olive oil if I'm going to be a sardine.
Fish again. Just lie still.
He's over here.
Still breathing?
Hurry, or bring me a snorkel.
Yeah, look for the can opener I stole from the porter.
All clear. Why are you so good to me?
Well, it's not fate. Hold on there, fugitive Thornhill. I've been thinking. Can't be seen in public in Chicago. You'll be picked up by the police the moment you show that face.
And it's such a nice face.
Yeah, nice face, but how do I know that you're not a murderer,
Well, the truth is you don't.
Oh, we're just strangers on a train.
Yeah, what would stop me from throwing you out that rear window?
Oh. You're clever. Dangerous. Good with words. In advertising, so you're selling something all the time, aren't you, dear?
Oh, yes, darling, and I think I've made a good pitch, don't you?
Oh, yes, very convincing. And you know what? I'll make sure you're exactly where you belong on our way to Chicago. There's a nice spot on the floor. And I'll be in the bed where I can watch out for you.
Well, so much for luck and fate, but at least I'm not in jail and I'm safe here with you. What was that?
Just lost my baggage tag.
What have you got in these bags?
Bowling balls, naturally.
Oh, what about my suit?
Well, it's underneath the bowling balls. Now, come on, fish lips. Mr. Kaplan won't mind a few wrinkles.
Yeah, if he's still there. Well, what good luck it was that we were able to track him down.
Now, I'll call him to confirm, and you get changed out of that clown suit.
Where should I get changed? The phone booth?
Always making a pitch, aren't you? No, try the men's room in Marshall Field. Might even give you a mint.
All right, back soon like Flash Gordon.
Right. There you are. What took you so long?
Long, this place is crawling with creeps.
All right. Well, Kaplan says he'll meet you, but not on the outside. He seems pretty jittery, pretty spooked. He says he'll meet you on the inside.
The inside?
Indiana. Prairie Stop 41.
Indiana, that sounds serious. Well, maybe I can rent a car.
Oh, no rental, Mr. Thorne, with your face all over the papers. No, you'll take the bus. He wants to make sure you're alone anyway.
Well, how will he know me?
The face, remember, all over the papers? Or your sunglasses on the bus.
What's the matter?
Matter?
Yeah, you seem tense.
Listen. You need to go.
Well, no, we'll see each other again, won't we?
Yes, sometime I'm sure. You
Yeah,
go,
but I wanna-
they're gonna
I
be
wanna
looking
thank
for
you.
you.
Oil spill.
It's a hot day.
I've seen worse.
You're not by any chance meeting someone here, are you?
No, I'm waiting for a bus. Should be here any minute.
Oh, another bus. Must be going the other direction.
Some of them crop dusting pilots, they can get rich. They live long enough.
Your name isn't Kaplan, is it?
I can't say it is because it ain't. I think here's my bus. It stopped just a little short.
Yeah.
That's funny.
What is?
That plane is dusting crops where there ain't no crops.
Hey, buddy. I'm looking for a guest here.
I'm sure you are.
His name's George Kaplan. Can you tell me his room number?
Ah, Monsieur Kaplan, a very discreet gentleman and a generous tipper. Très gentil.
What room?
Oh, je suis désolé, mon ami. He checked out at 7h10 à la matin.
710?
Yes, he left a note saying he was adventuring to the Wild West. Hotel Howard, Johnson, Rapid City, South Dakota. So galant.
Hotel Rapid City, South Dakota. Are you sure?
Do you doubt it? Such is the case, monsieur.
Yeah, well, that's disappointing. He's always one step ahead. It's strange.
Yes, elusive. But of course, the lady is still here.
And the lady?
Yes, the lady, she delivered the note about him adventuring to the Wild West. Nay.
Enough with the West thing. Look, she wasn't a blonde by chance, Miss Eve Kendall?
Yes, with the erm's dress. So lovely. I delivered it to room 463 after dry cleaning.
Yeah, she was a looker, but something's not right here.
Yes, and if I do say so myself, you look rather familiar as well. You've been in the movies? Picture? Not quite right either.
Yeah. You must have seen my twin. From the West. Look, I'm a go to the gift shop now. Surprised?
Yes.
No getting rid of me, is there?
So how'd it go today?
The meeting with Kaplan?
Well, yes, naturally.
He didn't show up.
Oh. Well, that's...
Funny, isn't it?
Why funny?
Well, after all those long and very explicit directions he must have given you on the phone.
Maybe I got something wrong.
Yeah, you got something wrong, but it wasn't the directions. You sent me to the right place, all right?
Well, why don't you call him and see what happened?
Yeah, I did. Checked out. Went to Rapid City, South Dakota.
Rapid City, South Dakota. Well, what are you going to do now?
I don't know. It may depend on you.
On me?
Yeah, you're my little helper, aren't you? You're so helpful, and I can't let you out of my sight. Go. Can't be for me.
Hello? Yes? Yes. No, don't. I'm not dressed yet. No, I'll meet you. Yes, what's the address? All right. Yes, I'll be there. Goodbye.
Business?
Yes.
Industrial designing business?
Well, of course. Major design fly if your building will collapse soon.
Sounds serious. Well, you better get going. I wouldn't recommend flying, though.
So, the auction's a distraction.
Very good, my little pupil. You've learned well. Instead of sneaking something into Troy, as it were, we're taking something inside a very obvious container, hiding in plain sight amidst an overwhelming pop and sparkle of lights. Eve, my dear, where were you?
I just lost the earrings you gave me. Found them in my purse.
I'm glad they turned up. We should sit. The auction's about to begin. Something, my eye on something from the Oswaldo collection. Leonard, keep an eye out for the pre-Columbian, number 105. Eve, I was going to ask you what happened in Rapid City.
Ah, the three of you. Now there's a picture worthy of being auctioned off at a ruinous price.
Good evening, Mr. Kaplan. I've been wondering about your recent business.
Look, before we start calling each other names, what in the world are you doing here?
Once again, you managed to disappoint me.
Yeah, I could say that about her, too.
Oh, I always understood you to be a rather shrewd fellow at your job. What could have possessed you to become blundering in here? An overwhelming interest in the arts?
Why, yes. The art of survival. Poured any good drunks lately?
He followed me here from the hotel.
It becomes clearer.
He was in your room?
I didn't realize you were an art collector. I thought you just collected corpses.
1,500.
1,500.
I bet you pay plenty for shiny things.
I don't really consider it paying so much as trading, bartering in things people find valuable, alluring.
Twice.
$1,750.
$1,750.
$1,750.
Well, Mr. Van Dam, do you happen to have a return policy in that arrangement?
Has anybody ever told you that you overplay your hand rather severely, Mr. Kaplan? First, you're the Madison Avenue man who claims he's been mistaken for someone else. Then, a fugitive from justice, desperate to clear his name of a crime he knows he didn't commit. And now, a peevish lover, stung by jealousy and betrayal. If you ask me, you fellows could use a little less time in the bureau and a little more time in the actor's studio.
1200.
Well, apparently the only performance that will satisfy you is when I play dead.
Your very next role, I assure you, Leonard's gotten to make the arrangements now. It will be Oscar-worthy.
Oh well, if I get to make my acceptance speech, I should thank you. Will it be a subtle form of manslaughter again? Or shall it be a potboiler, dropped into molten steel and sold like those on auction? Or perhaps I'll be death with a poisoned kiss.
I've had just about enough of you. You know that?
3,000 once, twice, 3,100. 3,200.
Mr. Kaplan, please.
I know you want me dead, but you have to stop.
I've had just about enough of you.
Yeah, then why don't you call the police? No, that'd be the last thing you want me, in the hands of the police. There's something I might tell them, right?
3,100.
That's why you had this one here. Hustle me on that train like a good little industrial designer. Well, something tells me I'd have a much better chance of survival with the police. And the mere fact that you don't want me to is reason enough for me.
5,000.
1,500!
Sir, it's already 5,000.
I still say 1,500. Do you take rubles?
1,500 sold.
1,200. Won't go lower.
Our next item is
How do I know it's not a fake? It looks like a fake. Believe me, I've been sold some fake merchandise in the past, let me tell you.
Sir, we are a reputable auction house.
Yeah, you're not going to get away with this fraud. Hey, what took you so long?
Get moving.
Let's go for a
Look,
walk.
I'm not finished bidding yet.
I think it's time to bid this place.
Oh, dude, we have another place for your antiques, the Gray Bar Hotel.
Bar, do they serve drinks?
What? Huh?
Sorry, old man, keep trying.
Get moving.
2,200.
Handle with care, fellas, I'm valuable property.
Yeah? Why is that?
Look, I want to thank you guys for saving my life.
Save it for the station.
Come on, let's see some smiles. You guys are about to become heroes. Know who I am?
We'll find out soon enough, as soon as we book you for being drunk and disorderly.
Drunk and disorderly. That's chicken feed. You've hit the jackpot, Sergeant. United Nations Slayer, Chicago Police Capture. Roger Thornhill is the name. Take me to your leader.
It's him.
Congratulations, men.
Call this in.
Who I'm gonna call it in? It's on first.
1,055.
Number 54.
This is we got a man here. Answer to the ID of Thornhill Roger. Code 76. Positive ID. Wanted by NYPD.
Do I hire?
No question.
Going once,
Absolutely.
twice, $1,200, ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen.
you have.
1,200.
No, he didn't.
Can I hire 1,500?
What?
Please,
155 off and clear.
This is a
Well, where are we going?
The airport.
Where hire?
Four.
A vacation.
$1,500.
You knucklehead orders say so.
I don't want to be taken to any airport. I want to be taken to police headquarters.
You do, huh?
Yeah, why do you think I sent for you fellas?
This guy, he sent for us, like room service.
Just take it easy, Thornhill.
Look, I don't want to be
Sold
taken to an
$2,000.
airport. Take me to police headquarters. I'm a dangerous assassin. I'm a mad killer on the loose.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Let's hustle this guy out of here before anyone recognizes him.
Never thought I'd make it in time. I'm getting too old for this kind of work. Thank you, men. Mr. Thornhill, let's walk. Let's wait for our project.
I don't think I caught your name.
I don't think I pitched it.
You aren't police, are you? Or FBI?
FBI, CIA, OSS, we're all in the same alphabet soup.
Yeah, well, put this in your alphabet soup. I had nothing to do with that United Nations killing.
We know that.
You do?
We've been monitoring this unorthodox development.
Yeah, well, what's the idea of the police chasing me all over the map?
We don't interfere with the police unless it's absolutely necessary. Become necessary.
Well, I take it then that I am to be cleared.
Well, yes, about that. We'll talk on the phone.
We're going on a plane. Where are we going? New York or Washington?
Rapid City, South Dakota.
Rapid City, what for?
Near Mount Rushmore.
Well, I've already seen Mount Rushmore.
So is your friend, Mr. Van Dam.
Mr. Van Dam.
Rather formidable gentleman, eh?
Yeah, what about that dangerous femme fatale with him?
Ah, Miss Kendall.
Yes.
We know about her.
Okay, well, what's Van Dam up to?
You could say he's an import-exporter of sorts.
Of what?
Government secrets.
Then why don't you grab him?
Too much we still don't know about his organization.
Okay, well, what's Mount Rushmore have to do with all this? A new president carved in the rock?
He has a place near there. We believe it to be his jumping-off point for leaving the country tomorrow night.
And you're going to stop him?
No.
Then what are we going there for?
To set his mind at ease about George Kaplan.
Wait a minute, are you George Kaplan?
No.
No, really, you're George Kaplan, aren't you?
Mr. Thornhill, there is no such person as George Kaplan.
There's no such person.
Come, we'll talk on the plane.
No, but I've been in his hotel room. I tried on his clothes. He's got short sleeves and dandruff. And
Believe me, sir, he doesn't exist. Which is why I'm going to need you to go on being him for the next 24 hours.
just that I've had enough.
Peanuts?
No. Yes. No, you started this crazy decoy business without me, finish it without me.
And well we may have if you hadn't stumbled upon it.
Yeah, well, I think you should give me a medal and a very long vacation. Because I've been pretending to be your #1 agent, just so that your real #1 agent doesn't get shot at.
Not shot at, Mr. Thornhill, but found out. And once he's found out, he's as good as dead. Thanks to you, clouds of suspicion are forming.
Thanks to me.
We need you, Mr. Kaplan.
Look, I'm an advertising man, not a red herring. I've got a deaf mother, a stubborn personal assistant, and several bartenders that need me. And I don't intend to disappoint them all by getting myself slightly killed by playing a man in a gray flannel cloak and a dagger suit. Look, the answer is no.
Is that final?
Yes.
We'll just let you do some sightseeing then. If I thought there was any chance of you changing your mind, I'd mention Miss Kendall, whom you obviously disapprove of for good reason.
Yeah. For winding me up, putting me in the path of some very sharp propellers.
I don't suppose it would matter to you that whatever Miss Kendall did, it was most likely to protect herself.
Protect herself from what?
Suspicion, exposure, assassination. Forgive me for referring to our top agent as a man, Mr. Thornhill. It's about all I can do to keep her safe. Whether you know it or not, you've put her in the most delicate of situations, and much more than her life is at stake.
All right, fine. Mr. Kaplan needs some more peanuts.
Sir, it's him.
Yes. Very well. We'll take her with us.
Is that wise?
It's clear, Mr. Van Dam.
Good. Good afternoon, Kaplan.
Not her.
Did I misunderstand you about bringing her?
We'll get to that. I suppose you were surprised to get my call.
Not particularly. I knew the police would release you. I want to congratulate you, by the way, on your rather colorful exit from the auction gallery the other day.
Thank you. It's an art.
Well, what little drama do you have in store for us today? I don't for a second believe you brought us to these scenic surroundings just to come to an arrangement.
Well, suppose I were to tell you that I not only know exactly what time you're leaving the country tonight, but also the latitude and longitude of your rendezvous and your ultimate destination.
Say, you wouldn't care to carry my bags, would you?
Maybe you would like to know the price just the same.
The price?
Yeah, for doing nothing to stop you.
And how much did you have in mind?
Well, remember you told me about trading? Bartering? I want the girl. I want her to get what's coming to her. You turn her over to me and I'll make sure she's behind bars for the rest of her life. In return, I'll look the other way tonight.
She really got under your skin, didn't she?
We're not talking about my skin, we're talking about yours and a way to save it.
To exchange it.
Put it any way you like.
So, tell me, Kaplan, how did you arrive at this little deduction that my feelings for Miss Kendall might have deteriorated to the point where I could trade her in for a little peace of mind?
I don't deduce, I observe.
Philip, I'm going up to the room.
Just a second,
What do you want with me, huh?
Sir, I don't recommend getting involved.
Mr. Thornhill, the nation will be proud of that performance.
Thanks. Are we there yet?
No.
I'm sure I won't be long.
Please don't be. The picture isn't quite complete.
Did it hurt?
Well, my feelings were a little shattered.
No, I mean when I, shot you.
Oh, you mean the drama with Van Damme? No,
Yes.
that was easy. I was pretty good, right?
You did rather well, I thought.
Yeah,
yes.
I thought I was quite graceful.
Not bad, considering it's not your line of work.
Well, I got into it by accident. A driving accident, actually. What's your excuse?
Oh, a problem with industrial engineering. It had international consequences.
Consequences, I'll say. I may go back to being suspicious of you again. It was a lot more fun.
You won't have the time. There's no chance.
What do you mean?
Well, I have to go back to the house and convince them I took the long way around and...
Stay a moment more.
Aren't you supposed to be critically wounded?
Well, I have to say, I feel pretty alive.
You have to get back to the hospital.
No, once I get the bandages off, we can see about taking the train back to
Right.
New York, meeting the mother, the family.
Stop, Roger.
Christmas.
Oh. You mean he hasn't told you?
Told me what?
We've got to get moving, Miss Kendall.
Wait a minute.
Goodbye, Thornhill.
What didn't you tell me?
She's going off on that plane tonight with Van Damme.
Going off with Van Damme.
Why didn't you?
That's why we've gone to such lengths to make her a fugitive from justice, so that Van Damme couldn't very well refuse to take her along.
Yeah, but you said.
I needn't remind you how valuable an asset she'll be over there.
Look, you lied to me. You said after tonight.
I needed your help.
Yeah, well, you got it.
Don't be angry.
Look, I don't like the games you play, Professor.
War is hell, Thornhill, even a cold one.
Look, I'm not going to let you go.
No, please don't spoil
can't.
everything
You
now.
can't leave.
I don't want to
Please,
go.
after all this, you can't.
Mr. Thornhill, thank you for your service. Here you are, 15.5-inch collar, 33-inch sleeves, and no ketchup stains.
Thanks.
How are you feeling?
All right, considering I must have walked into a wall or something. It was like a sledgehammer hit me.
You didn't see what happened?
No, I must have been worked up, and that locked door over there had me worried.
Well, if you were walking around in perfect health, it could prove fatal to Miss Kendall.
Right, Miss Kendall. Well, no need to lock me in anymore.
Good.
Yeah, I've been acting childish.
We all do sometimes when our passions run high.
Well, I've already started to forget her.
Better that way.
Much.
She'll be gone inside an hour.
Right. Well, how goes the world outside?
Fine. The untimely shooting of Mr. Kaplan has acquired the authority of the printed word. Enormous headlines, and everyone's cooperating beautifully.
Well, you may now include me.
I'm most grateful.
A favor in return?
Anything.
A nice stiff drink.
May I join you?
Wonderful.
I'll get something suitable. See you in a few minutes.
Dirty snake.
There's no need to worry, dear.
I lost my head.
Yes, we can't afford you to lose your head again, Eve.
I didn't know what I was doing.
He was going to destroy you, you had to protect yourself.
But not endanger you.
Yes, we had to keep Philip insulated. Eve, it was rash.
Nonsense. There's not a word, not a whisper that links me or you to this. There would have been something about it on the radio.
It is surprising. And lucky.
I mean, I just can't stand looking at the photos in the paper.
Will you forgive me, my dear,
Forgive you?
for not showing more confidence in your devotion, your loyalty?
You do trust me, Philip.
Of course, and soon we'll be off together and I will be dedicated to your happiness. What's the situation, Leonard?
About the plane, you mean?
Yes, of course. What was the last report?
Over Whitestone Rock, 6,000 descending.
10 minutes more.
At the most.
Your bags?
I brought them out myself, Philip.
Right. Runway lights?
Checked, bright, but difficult to detect.
Good. That sounds very good.
And now I was wondering if I could have a word with you.
Of course.
In private.
Oh. I'll go get my things.
Well, Leonard, have this one say good farewell to one's own right arm.
Well, I'm afraid, sir, you're going to wish you had cut it off sooner.
Whatever do you mean?
Well, it's about Eve.
Are you sure this time, or is this just more of your petty jealousy?
We must have had some doubts about it yourself, and still do, and
Nonsense, Leonard.
And why else have you decided not to tell her that our little treasure kit contains a belly full of microfilm? You entrusted me with this information, didn't you?
Yes, and you seem to be trying to fill mine with rotten fruit.
Well, sometimes the truth does taste putrid, sir, and she...
What?
is no-
Truth, Leonard. All I've heard so far is innuendo.
Well, call it a woman's intuition, if you will. But I've never trusted neatness. Neatness is always a result of deliberate planning.
Neatness. That was hardly a neat job of shooting Kaplan. She killed him in a moment of fear and anger. You were there. You saw it.
I saw neatness, sir, roughed up and drama like a trussed-up diversion. She rubbed everything up into a neat and tidy bundle. A, she removed any doubts about, you know what was it that you called it? Yeah, her devotion. And B, she gave herself a new and urgent reason to be the other side with you, just in case you decided to change your mind.
Leonard!
The gun she shot Kaplan with. Found it in her luggage. It's an old Gestapo trick. Shoot one of your own people to prove you're not one of them. She just freshened it up with blank cartridges.
It's a pity.
That's really good.
I thought I heard a shot.
Yes, so did we. What did you say that was, Leonard?
My guess was a backfire from a car, very far away.
Good assessment, Leonard. Oh, are you almost ready to go?
Almost. Just a minute.
Sir, you're not taking her with you on that plane, are you?
Of course I am. Like our friends, I do believe in neatness, and this is a matter best disposed of from a great height, over water. I'll get a little champagne before we go.
Oh, I'd love it.
Wonderful. It may not be cold enough.
Well, over the rocks would be fine.
Really?
Why not?
Good idea.
You circling.
Jump in, the champagne's fun.
It was in time, Philip.
You always were such a spoil sport, Leonard. You know what they say about this drink? You say no to champagne, you say no to life.
I've often been called a spoil sport. Important asset, as it turns out. Now, Philip, it would please me if you would think of me being along on this journey, if only in spirit.
Of course. Come along, Eve.
I just lost my earring.
You don't think that she suspects that we're on to her and...
Hardly.
Don't get on the plane!
What are you doing here?
Look, he knows about the gun.
He knows about the gun. Why didn't you tell me?
What was that, Eve?
I just lost my earring.
I'll get the FBI.
Don't worry about your earring. I'm sure it'll turn up in the most unexpected of places.
Happy landings, Eve. What are you... Hurry! Eve! Apple! I'm on it, sir.
I'm going. Oh my.
Oh, it's so far down.
Well, we can't go back. It's down if you can manage.
It's Mount Rushmore. Of course I can
Of
manage.
course you can. Thornhill? Thornhill? Thornhill?
Leonard, fancy seeing you here.
No.
Care for a drink?
This is silly, Thornhill.
I know, but I'm sentimental. Oh, tunnel up ahead.
Is it?